Coach Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com. They went on that run that carried through the third quarter.
Yeah.
What did you see there that led to Boston's turnaround?
The switching. They came out with a level of intensity and force, and we had to get a little more movement, a little bit more cuts, backdoor cuts, motion, moving around more than just playing around the perimeter. But they turned up their intensity, so credit to them for that, the intensity and the aggression and the switching.
Jamahl, 92 points you guys gave up, second straight game, keeping your opponents under 100. In this game in particular, is that how you would want, the picture perfect game defensively for you guys on that end?
Defensively, we would love to keep teams under 100. I think that where we're going to continue to get better is understanding the switching in offense. But defensively, yes.
Philip Rossman-Reich, Orlando Magic Daily. The team has been shooting the ball really well from three, but does it come at a cost sometimes that they can rely a little bit too much on that shot, especially when they're going up against a switching defense they can't get past?
Well, I think that happens in a lot of cases when the ball will become sticky, and we talked about it prior to the game that as teams switch us, there's got to be a second action. And we talked about it. We talked about it in here. We talked about it in the locker room, and they've experienced it, and we'll continue to get better doing it because these are the things that we'll have to look at film and see where certain cuts could have been made. Could we've gone backdoor a couple more times? Could we gotten to the second side a few more times? But again, shots are going to fall, so shots are not going to fall, and so we just got to make sure that we're going through the process of doing the right thing in that action.
Jamahl, Matt Marshall, the Orlando Sentinel. You only had 15 assists tonight. Was that kind of a product of the fact that you guys kind of were shooting very well, or was it more of a defensive side of things when it came from what Boston was doing?
Well, Matt, I think it was a combination of both. I think we did get some good looks. I think that the shots didn't go in, and I think there were some looks that we might have been able to go one more pass. But again, I'll have to look at film and see exactly where it is that we can continue to improve and get better and help our guys understand exactly what we're looking for.
Coach, with you guys having some time at home, how valuable can the stretch be, to have some practice time and guys not having to travel as much to kind of work on some of these things and get things correct?
I think it's going to be great for us to be home, to continue to build on some habits, get back to the foundation of things with what we're doing defensively and offensively. I think it'll be good for us to be home.
And they continued that run after that. What is that balance with a young team trying to learn how to weather the storm in those moments and not knowing to call the timeout or to continue trying to let them figure it out on their own?
And that was part of it. That was part of it right there. Understanding that, you try to break the run up a little bit because basketball is a game of runs. And we've talked about it from the beginning of the year with our guys, and they're understanding that it's some ups, some downs, and but you keep fighting. And so called it our first timeout early, just to try to weather it a little bit. And then that second one, and then when they continued the run, try to get our guys to understand exactly what we need to continue to do.
We've heard you talk all season so far about weathering these runs, kind of answering these runs a little bit. How do you feel like the team handled the run in the third quarter and how they recovered in the fourth quarter?
Well, early on, I think the switching, became a problem, but I think after the first timeout, we were trying to get some good actions. We got a couple good looks again, and that's when if the shots don't fall, it feels a lot bigger than it is. But we were doing the right thing, and I think we'll look at film and see exactly how it looked. But again, I think there was some process shots that we did get that were good. They just didn't fall.
How much do you want your guys just to maybe trying to shoot their way out of it when it comes to that kind of thing? Or is it more about still trying to do the process, still trying to follow kind of the offense, what you want to do?
I think for us, it's going to continue to be about the process. Like I said, there were times where we got great action, great looks, great movement. I think we drove, kick, got a corner, wide open three. It didn't go in. We drive, kick, move it again. It gets a wide open wing three. It doesn't go in. So that's the process. It's a make or miss. We have to stick with the right process of what we're doing.
Any final questions? All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Thanks.
Bill, Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com. What did you see in that third quarter when they went on the run? What were some of the things that turned it around for them?
They kind of switched their defensive scheme. They started switching 1 through 5, and it just made it tough for the style of offense that we kind of play. we just have to do a better job of adjusting to it. Like you said, the third quarter is where we lost the game, and a team like that, they're going to go on runs, but we have to understand how to weather those runs and kind of stop them early, or at least let it get it to a point where we're going back and forth, and eventually kind of cut off the water.
Wendell, Matt Marshall, the Orlando Sentinel. When you guys are going through a struggle shooting the basketball, in your mind, is it going to kind of snowball a little bit? Is it you kind of get in your head a little bit, maybe start shooting a little faster and maybe not make that extra pass?
For sure. I feel like especially in that third quarter, we definitely got very frustrated when none of our actions were really working, including myself. We just started taking the first shot instead of getting to the second side of the court or even the third side. And that's immaturity, and I take a lot of responsibility in that. Like I feel like, it's kind of from the top of the team all the way down. Like we can't be a selfish team. And, I had to do a better job of leading by example. And we just got to do a better job of holding each other accountable.
Philip Rossman, Orlando Magic Daily. On that kind of note, what was the feeling like in that first half? It really seemed like the offense was flowing really well. You were able to kind of break that defense down. What was the feeling like then?
Yeah. That first half they were in coverage with the two bigs out there at first. So a lot of when me and Mo were going into pick and rolls, it gave us opportunity to pop, to roll. Everything was kind of open, and we just kind of had the juice going. We was playing great defense, making it tough for the two best scorers. And I feel like we did a really good job on those two tonight, in my opinion. But we just got to be able to weather the storms a little bit better.
Wendell, Luke Hatcher, Spectrum Sports 360. You've talked about you being a leader on the defense, and when things go wrong, you take it personally, trying to respond. When you try and weather those storms like that, when Boston goes on that run early in the third, how hard is it to transition and weather that storm to get a stop in the middle of the game when a timeout is not called?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. When the team got their momentum going, they made 2 or 3 baskets in a row. They're feeling good. It's tough. It's tough. They're a very talented offensive team. So, for us, we just have to do a better job of understanding that, when we're put in those situations, no matter what's going on the offensive end, we have to at least make the shots hard. Like if they were just hitting a bunch of tough shots, we're gonna have to live with that. But if we can't have them scoring a lot in transition, they throwing off the backboard, trying to dunk and stuff. Like we can't have those kind of spells in the game. So that's something that we definitely have to work on.
Wendell, you guys have started off the season on the road. To have a few games in a row at home, perhaps have some practice time in there. How valuable can that be for your group?
That's going to be very valuable, especially for a team like this. Just to get out on the court together, run through schemes, work on or be able to prepare for each game a little bit better. I feel like that's definitely going to help us a lot. Yeah, for sure.
Wendell, as a veteran, with these young guys, how do you kind of keep them up? I mean, some of these guys haven't lost, have streaks like this before. How do you keep these guys kind of up and motivated when they may be feeling a little down after a performance like tonight?
It's tough. I mean, it's a pleasure for you to call me a veteran, but I was just there. I came from a winning school, and when I was drafted, we weren't winning that much, and it was tough for me because I was so used to winning. And, one thing I would just say to them is just continue to work on your game and continue to help this team. I mean, at the end of the day, teams do not become great overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time. And, it's a slow grind. That's something I would just kind of preach to them.
Wendell, you hold a team like Boston under 95 points. How do you evaluate where this team is at defensively right now?
I mean, except for that third quarter, I feel like we did a really good job on the defensive end. Like I was saying, we made it tough for their top 2 scorers, and we made the other players beat us. And, that was the game plan. I think we did a really, really good job of that down the stretch. And then going into that third quarter, offensively, they were making it really tough for us. We got frustrated, and it affected our defense. And that's something for a young team like us. We can't allow, no matter what's going on offensively, we got to hold on the defensive end.
Wendell, have you ever had a stretch like you did at the top of the third or the top of the third quarter where just nothing just seemed to go in for you guys?
Yeah, a lot of them for sure. But like I was saying, that happens. You know, they were missing a lot of their shots. You know, first quarter, second quarter. They understood that the ball's gonna start falling. That's just how the game of basketball works, and we just had to do a better job of not playing 1-on-1, and no matter what's going on offensive end, we just got to play defense, make it tough. Yep.
I think that's why they went on that big run.
Matt Marshall, the Orlando Sentinel. Wendell said that it's for you guys, it's about weathering those storms sometimes when things kind of happen that don't go as planned. How do you guys feel like you can kind of take this example and maybe utilize it in the future?
Just watch film, come in here tomorrow, learn from it. And then, as a teammate, hold your teammates accountable, and, give advice. It's, sometimes it'll be tough criticism, but that I think is going to help us down the road.
Philip Rossman, Orlando Magic Daily. It seemed like at the fourth quarter, you guys were able to kind of right the ship a little bit, make a little bit of an indent into that deficit. How important was it to kind of finish the game, strong on both ends, or stronger on both ends after taking that run in the third?
I think it's just about our process. I think that's something that, we pride ourselves on. It's just stay in the game no matter what the score is. I think we might have been down maybe 14 at one point in that fourth quarter. And, we had fought back and then just keep fighting back, later in that fourth quarter, missed assignments, turnovers, especially by myself. So just cleaning those things up and, I think we'll be fine.
RJ Luke Ketcher, Spectrum Sports 360. You guys hold Boston to 92. How do you evaluate where you guys are at defensively?
Say that one more time for me.
Boston to just 92 points. How do you evaluate this team on the defensive end?
I think that's great. I think that's a move in the right direction for us, holding them to 92 points. They're a very good team. They have some really good players. And I think that's something that we should hang our hats on every night, is on the defensive end. But the question was before, weathering the storm, certain things that we have to clean up. And I think if we do that in that third quarter, the score is a lot different.
You guys started much of the season on the road. To have a few games now at home with perhaps some practice time mixed in, just how valuable can that be for your group?
Very valuable. I think, we had a long road kind of trip to start off the season. So having these 5 games at home is, really good for us, to test where we're at, coming up in this home stand, and just for guys to get their minds right, to get back on track. I think, with this home stand that we have, practice time is going to be very valuable. Sitting down, watching film, being able to, stay off the road, stay off the planes and lock in is going to be really valuable for us.
RJ, Chris Cuff, 24 Flick Sports. You guys are a very young team, and a lot of times you see when teams get in frustrated situations, they have the skill to try and win the game by themselves, or they'll force plays. How difficult is that for you to fight off and just stay with the plan?
I think that's something that everybody does on this team. It's not just one person. It's not just a young guy or an older guy. But, I think we were talking about it on the bench. Let's not try to win the game in one possession. Let's move the ball around, share the ball within our teammates, and trust each other. And then I think it was a stretch in that third quarter where we started to do that. We just weren't hitting shots. We were getting open shots. We just weren't hitting them. And sometimes, the ball's going to fall that way. But like I said, trusting, each other and not trying to make the home run play all the time.
RJ, do you guys feel like you're close to turning a corner, maybe where, some of these games where a play here or there maybe goes the other way, you guys can maybe flip the script and get some wins here?
100%. I think we didn't win that third quarter. We didn't win that first 4 or 5 minutes of that third quarter. And, that's something that, we have to capitalize on as a young team to stay locked in. I think we were up by 2 at half, and just training our minds to never take our foot off the gas. But like you said, a very young team, and, young teams go through hardships. We make mistakes, but luckily we have a great coaching staff and great veterans that can, help us, with that process.
What's the balance when you guys are a young team and you're going to go through learning experiences early on under a new head coach? But what is that balance where there's going to be learning experiences, but you don't want to get complacent knowing at times that may lead to more losses than wins?
Right. I think that's something to do with our pride. That's something that we take ownership on as, players and teammates. We want to win as many games as possible. No teams ever went, 0-82. No teams ever went 82-0. So we keep that mindset throughout the year, and that's what the mindset we kept throughout these games. And just honestly, just keep playing, keep fighting, down to the last whistle, no matter what the score is.
Thank you, RJ.
No problem. Thank you, guys.